And joining me now for more on this is Scott Lucas, Professor of US Politics at University College Dublin. Thank you very much indeed for being with us today. Everyone seems to agree this case sets a precedent. Historically, how significant could it be?
Well, to start with why it is unprecedented, the closest that a president, former president, has come before in the U.S. to criminal charges is probably Richard Nixon after the Watergate affair of 1974. But when Nixon resigned as president, before he could face criminal charges over the break-in and the cover-up against the Democratic headquarters, his successor, President Gerald Ford, pardoned him. Now, in this case, Donald Trump had investigated pardoning himself. He wasn't able to do so. So he was liable, not only in this case, but on others, to face prosecution, both civil and criminal prosecutions. Indeed, only a few months ago, the Trump Organization, Trump's business, was found guilty in a New York civil case and paid a heavy fine, and it was found guilty in a criminal case. And one of its top executives was found guilty and received a sentence. So, no, we have not come this close to a former president going on trial over what reportedly are multiple felony charges, but we haven't faced a former president who's trying to get back into the White House facing a trial, or indeed facing possible trials on other cases revolving around, for example, election interference, the Capitol attack of January 2021, and other Trump business and tax practices.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. There is an election next year, a presidential election. Constitutionally, where does this leave Trump's bid for re-election? Does this indictment stop him in any way from running?
No, I mean, legally it has no effect on the candidacy because you can be indicted and still run for president. And you can even be convicted of a felony and still run for president. There's no prohibition in the U.S. Constitution against that. Now, if Donald Trump happened to be reelected president at the same time that he was convicted and possibly face prison, there is a provision which says that a federal official can be removed for crimes. But we've never faced in terms of invoking this against a president. So not sure where we go there. What I can tell you is what is already happening. Rather than dealing with the legal process, as you and I are discussing, you have a battle here between those who say the legal system must continue its work, even if the U.S. campaign for president goes on, whether Trump is acquitted or whether he's convicted. On the other side, you have Trump and his allies, some of whom you just named, who are they're gaslighting. And by gaslighting, what I mean is, rather than dealing with the facts of the case, rather than support the legal process, they're trying to tear the legal process down by blaming and insulting others. The New York District Attorney, prosecutors, the grand jury, the entire U.S. judicial system, which is why, beyond the importance of this case, as historic as it is, this is the wider importance of it is Donald Trump or it is the U.S. legal system which you support here. There is nothing in between.
And there's no doubting that there is a groundswell of support for Mr. Trump still. What does this mean for next year's political campaigning, both Republican and Democrat, the tone and tenor of the debate?
Well, the first thing that I would tell you here is that I think the importance is that this legal process should not be corrupted or distorted in any way by political calculations. So those who say, oh, this legal process should not be undertaken because it will help Trump win the election, I don't buy that. And I certainly don't buy the idea that this legal process was timed to prevent Trump from winning. What you will hear is from Trump and his supporters that they have this huge camp of supporters, their base. I know some of these people. Some of them are in my family. But I also know that they are a minority of Americans. Remember, Trump lost the 2020 election, and recent polls show that a majority of Americans believe that if he is indicted, he in fact should not become president again. So Trump and his folks will whip this up, that this politically, this case helps him. The fact of the matter is the case should proceed as it does, and the U.S. election, which isn't for another 20 months, it is a twisted and long process, and I don't think you can say at this point whether or not Donald Trump, one of his Republican opponents, or Joe Biden will be the ultimate winner.
It is going to be quite the spectacle. Thank you very much indeed for that analysis. Professor Scott Lucas, thank you.